So, as Elon Musk is leaving the White House with a literal black eye, there's another conservative Republican who's trying to take center stage with a figurative black eye. This is a Joni Ernst when she was asked about, hey, you said we're all going to die. Do you have another follow up statement? Let's listen to this.
Clarify your comments in the town hall last week, Senator.
I'm very compassionate, and you need to listen to the entire conversation.
Do you have any
Can
regrets
you
about that?
explain how to protect the most vulnerable?
So she got in the elevator, and then they like.
Senator, is it not a valid concern people have that they may lose their health care, or that others may die? Is that not a valid concern?
Or just even with the apology over the weekend, do you?
So that's her life right now. Essentially, both Elon Musk and Joni Ernst are being questioned about previous comments. And if you don't know why this whole thing is funny and sad at the same time, have a take a look at her earlier, quote, apology. Watch this.
Hello, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely apologize for a statement that I made yesterday at my town hall. I was in the process of answering a question that had been asked by an audience member when a woman who was extremely distraught screamed out from the back corner of the auditorium, "People are going to die." And I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth. So I apologize. And I'm really, really glad that I did not have to bring up the subject of the tooth fairy as well. But for those that would like to see eternal and everlasting life, I encourage you to embrace my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Right? And as many people pointed out, this bizarre, quote, apology was made in a cemetery. You can actually see tombstones behind her as she makes this thing. Now, I'm talking about Elon Musk and Joni Ernst at the same time, which I didn't think I would be doing, but it actually makes sense because this is where the Republicans are going. They basically want you to forget about your health care, forget about your life. It is all meaningless. You should just focus on worshiping Elon Musk. And I see Elon Musk sycophants all over the internet, and it's just like, are these people for reals? Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're actually bots, but sometimes, yes, they actually are for real. And many people in the community have mentioned, Chris, I have MAGA friends, I have MAGA family, and when I try to talk to them about this kind of stuff, they'll just be like, wow, Elon Musk is a billionaire and he's so smart and he cares so much about us, and you know, why do I need Medicaid? I just trust all my faith and put all my faith in Elon. I want you to listen to Chris Murphy, what he has to say, Senator from Connecticut, and I think is really well done in tying it all together. Have a listen.
I think everybody in that audience knows that they're going to die. They would just rather die in old age at 85 or 90 instead of dying at 40. And the reality is that when you lose your health care, you are much more at risk of early death. And when rural hospitals close because of this bill, when drug treatment clinics close in Iowa and rural America because of this bill, more people will die at a younger age. So the reality is this bill is about life and death. And for what? I mean, I guess that's the problem here for many of us, is that they're cutting Medicaid, throwing 15 million people off their health care in order to fund a tax cut for the super wealthy and for corporations. That is just fundamentally immoral. It's immoral and it's unethical. I don't understand why they're doing it, except that Donald Trump only really knows billionaires. He only knows corporate CEOs. And so his instructions to Republicans are reward them, help them, and no one else. I wish Joni and others saw the immorality of what they're doing.
And if you understand what we're talking about here, right, is the whole Republican plan and what their big, beautiful tax bill is to give all the benefits to people like Musk, and then have their corporate media, be it your Fox News, etc., get you to worship Musk, right? Because the idea is like, well, your life is meaningless and you can be part of something bigger. You can be part of helping Musk achieve his dreams of multi-planetary society. We can all go to Mars. we can all have a robot buddy. We can all have these robot taxis, so we don't need to drive. We don't need to care about ourselves. And who cares about healthcare? And who needs a job either, anyways, right? Musk's plan is to replace all of you with AI. And whenever I bring this stuff up, people are like, "Oh, Chris, you're so dumb. Elon is a billionaire. He cares about me." Well, there's a couple problems with this discussion. One, is Elon Musk really a billionaire? Does he have as much money as you think he has? Because check this out. This is the headline today in Bloomberg. Musk taps investors for billions days after Washington exit. Musk is always continually asking people for money. They're always working with, and I think in this case, Morgan Stanley, to restructure debts, to figure out, okay, how can we keep this Ponzi pyramid scheme going? In this situation, it's XAI. And again, this is all about cutting your Medicaid, cutting regulations, cutting any kind of government oversight, so he can continue to fund his ridiculous ventures. Let's read some details of this thing, and I hope you guys understand the importance of putting these things, two things together, right? In my opinion, just my opinion, I think regular people would prefer to have Medicaid and Medicare over all this stupid AI stuff that Musk is always pushing all the time.
Tesla's also creating a humanoid robot, Optimus, which will be like, which I think everyone is going to want, because it'll be like, who wouldn't want their own personal R2D2 C3PO robot buddy? That will help you do anything you want to do, and I think so. I think that's going to be a massive product. SpaceX is doing rocket launching and Starlink internet. And hopefully we'll build the technology to make life multi.
But for those that would like to see eternal and everlasting life, I encourage you to embrace my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
You know, who cares about Medicaid? You should believe in Jesus Christ. This is Elon Musk here. It says Elon Musk is selling $5 billion in debt for his artificial intelligence startup XAI Corp, the latest in a series of fundraising efforts across his business empire as the billionaire pivots away from politics and returns to running his various companies, right? So the idea is that you get in politics long enough to, you know, get all of the relationships in place. You put all of your people in positions of power. Again, you try to cut regulations so you can continue to do these kind of practices, these things. You're all about raising that money. Remember, and just think about this, guys. You're supposedly the richest dude in the world, and you're always asking people for money, and you're always figuring out ways to restructure your money to continue with your scam. This is it here. Morgan Stanley is shopping the debt for XAI with a double-digit interest rate, according to people familiar with the early pricing discussions. The financing, right? Financing could help Musk continue to spend aggressively on AI infrastructure as he builds out massive data center in Memphis. Now, if you've been following this story in Memphis, basically Elon Musk over there is, you know, contributing to the bad air quality, bad water quality, these kind of things. This is just the reality. What if you're someone like Musk or whatever, billionaire, and you want to build this kind of stuff, you look for. I'll just be perfectly frank for you. Communities that don't have the political clout or representation, so that they should. I'll just be honest. And in this particular, you know, environment, it's predominantly black neighborhoods, and I don't want to make any jokes about this. I find it frankly really sad. Because remember, the Joni mission on one side says, you know, just believe in Jesus, you don't need Medicaid. Elon Musk comes to, you know, predominantly black communities and is like, oh, you know what, I'm just going to build these awesome data centers of AI to all replace you. I've been looking at this and talking about this issue for a long time. If you want to do all this AI stuff, where's all the power going to come from? It's a legitimate question. And is that really what we want? This sort of society of where we're all replaced by AI? We can't even drive our car because I guess AI, Elon Musk AI wants to take over all of that. You know, they want to replace you and take your Medicaid away. And I just can't put it in any starker terms. And it's sad that anyone follows this stuff. And I guess this should be the new MAGA hat, right? We're all going to die. And then on top of that, there's people who are just singing the praises of billionaires. And I want to make it clear, guys, that I'm not against, you know, people having success in their companies, having success on their life. I'm not against that, because some people say, oh, Chris, you're so dumb, you're just attacking innovators, these kind of things. But that's the fundamental question. Is this a innovation that you want, and is this a real innovation? Is this AI stuff going to be what you think it's going to be? Because Elon Musk, the way he promotes, and just not just AI, but all of his Mars and robots and this kind of stuff, is basically stuff that you see in movies. That's basically what it is. And he's preaching to an audience that actually doesn't understand real science at all, but they did watch Total Recall, or they saw Back to the Future. And at this point, I just think Elon Musk needs to start developing time machines and be like, hey guys, make your life better. Let's roll it back to the 1800s when life was great for everyone, right? Well, great for everyone, right? Depending on which, I'll put it this way, depending on who your forefathers are, we'll put it that way. I do appreciate your time, everyone. I want to hear your thoughts, and I catch you on the next video.